What's going on there?
Are you having your period now?
No.
'Cause it's sure looking like a
What?
reproductive
Like a
pattern
pregnancy?
for me.
Oh, God.
Hi family, this is a medical disclaimer. This episode is for informational purposes only. We are not recommending that you follow these practices or offering medical advice. The content is not a substitute for professional medical care. As always, please use your intuition and instincts when listening to our episodes and only take what resonates with you.
All right, guys, welcome back to Easy A. I'm your host, Alexis Wren, and
I'm Allie Michelle.
this is the two-part series of our segment with Mick Hall. And he is going to be reading our blood live. So he's already pricked Allie's finger, and Allie's blood is on the screen right now. So, Mick, we'll let you take it away.
All right. Okay, the purpose of the dark field in the HLB blood studies isn't a diagnostic process, but it's to help a person to understand what their lifestyle habits are creating that need to be corrected, and it gives the individual an understanding of the work that really needs to be done to shift these patterns. As I was just explaining to Allie, there's no mystery to any of this. If there's a pattern that shows up, say there's too much Candida, which I think last time wasn't there quite a bit of Candida?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this time there's so much less because of the information that I shared with Allie.
Mm-hmm.
She has shifted her lifestyle habits. And if we had a video of the first,
Jordan's blood.
well, of
No,
her,
of mine.
Oh,
that had the
Allie's
Candida.
first,
Oh, right. Yeah.
and then showed it side by side, and talk about each of the patterns that we talked about,
Wow.
and then see, okay, because of altering by reducing the sugar, look at the Candida, how much it's so much less. And because of the gallbladder flushes, look at this is happening. And
You should be so proud, Allie. You really should. You work hard.
But with every pattern that we talked about before, of course, there's going to be improvements here because what we're looking at is a very, very good looking sample. The red blood cells are basically very full, round, and looking good. The fact that they're not overlapping is showing us that her liver function is doing well. We see that she's still having a little bit of trouble with her lower back, recycling too much acid waste from the colon, and that's causing the white blood cells, those two right there, to have the dark segments, which is showing a detoxification of the white blood cells. Now, as I mentioned to Allie a few minutes ago, all the way through, she's going to have the little stars in the background because that's the oxidized arterial plaque continually breaking off from the arterial wall and moving into the liver to be filtered and eliminated. But what we shouldn't be seeing is masses made up of dozens of those little particles. That would show that, okay, the liver's not able to keep the blood clean enough. If the liver was able to pull it out of the blood, then it wouldn't be here in the blood to be looked at. So what we're going to do is just kind of scan the area and look for patterns. I haven't looked at any of the patterns yet. Okay, this over here is a piece of toxic metal. The metals can either be lead, aluminum, mercury, cadmium, toxic iron, or toxic copper. But if it were a nutrient, it would be so small that we couldn't see it. In the background, if, let's say Allie had eaten a meal within the last hour, it would look like snow in the background. And that would be the particles of food that were already digested and moving into the bloodstream. But she hasn't eaten for hours, so her blood is very clean.
I'm talking to you.
Wow. Congratulations.
Okay, now we're seeing more of the white blood cells that have the dark segments. So the main focus is going to be lower back and intestinal elimination. And here we're starting to see a little bit of premature, what they call crenation, which is the red blood cells collapsing prematurely. And that indicates, again, a confirmation of more acid waste being recycled from the colon. So it's the same issue. Okay.
And what would the solution to that be?
Go ahead and stand up and turn that direction just for a second. Or you can, yeah, that's okay. Okay. See right here in the lumbar area? Do you feel a tightness or a discomfort there?
Yeah.
How about here?
Not really.
Not really? Okay. Now drop your arms and relax. Okay. You had the owl here. Generally, that shoulder would be pulled down by the tightness of this muscle. Your shoulders are quite even, but this is your main problem right there.
Okay.
And that is causing a reduction of nerve flow to this area right here, and that's why that hurts, is because it's stricturing your colon.
Okay. Great.
Obviously.
Obviously. Of course. Wait, so what do I do?
I think it's just more gallbladder cleanses, correct? Or no? Is it something else?
Colonics?
No, actually, it's work that you need to do. In fact, maybe you could talk your therapist here into getting some sort of a machine that could open that up.
Oh, like
the Theragun? I have one of those.
Yeah.
But I think I have to do it because it's literally right
Yeah,
there.
because it's too difficult for you to do it.
Cool.
Okay, that would probably be the most important thing. And then, of course, moving the fiber through your intestinal tract twice a day.
Okay.
Consistently. Then use, I don't like using laxatives because laxatives work through irritation. But magnesium works through relaxation and back flushing water into the intestinal tract. So what you do is you use the magnesium to regulate the movement of the fiber and watch the output and just regulate it accordingly and keep things moving through. And that will keep that muscle from getting tight. That'll get tight if you're constipated. There's a two-way communication between the lower back and the colon affects the lower back affects the colon. And so if you're working on opening up the nerve flow from that damage or whatever is going on there, that will relax the colon and relax that stricture. Because the stricture is on the left-hand side, if you look at, see with a stricture over here on the left-hand side, 2/3 of the whole colon gets stagnated. It retains too much toxic waste. That's the reason why wherever you can feel that tension or discomfort in the lower back, got to really work on that and get it cleared up. Okay, the reason why this is probably, I think one of you asked this question before, and I don't think that I clarified it. With a pattern like this, what really causes that is our habit of sitting so much. We sit more than any human in the history of the world, and that creates what I call sitting disease, which is the pain and tension that affects the colon. And actually, I like to look at the lower back like a dimmer switch on the wall that determines the light. And when that dimmer switch gets turned down, that is the direct and immediate cause for people that get knee replacements, hip replacements, female reproductive problems, male prostate. That's the direct and immediate cause for prostate problems. Men are told that if they live long enough, they're going to develop a problem in the prostate. That's not true. It's all the direct result of what's going on in that lower back.
Wow.
Now, there's a principle that you can apply to every area of the body, and that is that every problem that we ever develop develops in a weakened area. And 95% of the time, the weakness is caused by nerve flow restriction. So you think, okay, when that dimmer switch of the lower back is turned down, it's affecting everything in the lower pelvic area, the colon, the hips, the knees, the ankles, neuropathy. It's everything. That's the reason why it's so important for everybody to understand the correlation between the lower back and all these problems. They're not mysterious problems that just crop up. It's cause and effect. And so the first thing you'd need to do is like using some sort of a vibrating machine, or what do you call that?
The Theragun.
Yeah, the Theragun. You use the Theragun to decongest the muscle, but then you have to retone the muscle. And now you could use bands, rowing machine, or whatever, but you need to focus on the lower back and figure out what you have available to retone those muscles. Because a toned, strengthened area, remember, the problem started because of an area being weak. To strengthen that weakened area, it can detoxify itself. Once an area becomes weak, muscle or organ or whatever, it can't detoxify itself. And the body waste, no matter where it's accumulated in the body, is the substance all disease is made of. So wherever there's weakness, we got to focus on, okay, just strengthen that area and it can clear itself and the problem is solved.
Wow.
Looks like I'm going to Pilates with you.
Yay! Finally.
Okay. So let's see if there's any other patterns. Now, the absolute goal for both of these blood tests is to have absolutely boring blood, nothing to talk about. Just red blood cells, white blood cells, and then when you get to the dry sample, no patterns, just strong, healthy blood. But until then, we'll talk about the little patterns, and as we've already seen from the last health screen, there's tremendous improvements already. Keep doing the same things that you're doing, and maybe do a little tweaking here and there, like the lower back, and all of this will clear. And
it's so simple.
It is.
It's so simple.
Well, when you compare that to treatment of symptoms, when you really think about it, it's a frustrating, expensive game.
Yeah.
Because, it's kind of like, well, here, try this herb or try this treatment, try this, try that. Because what they're doing is going from history of what others have tried, and, well, it helped Uncle Fred, so maybe it'll work for you, or it helped these 5,000 patients or whatever. But, it's still just bringing relief to the end resulting effect with all levels of cause in place. What we're talking about is, okay, get all the pathways through the body open and life and essence flowing and substance flowing. Our bodies are made up of tubes. And the problem is caused when the tubes get closed down for some reason. We get the tubes reopened, get everything flowing the way that it should, blood flow, lymph flow, intestinal flow. Get everything flowing properly, and where do you have health problems?
Yeah. Oh.
It's not necessary.
Optional.
It's optional. How self-destructive do you feel? What do you want to create? Okay, up here we've got a big chunk of metal, and the metal looks like a race car.
Yeah.
The metal. Okay, these are two bubbles of fluid that just shows that your body is doing some detoxifying. It's dumping metals. It's dumping some of the arterial plaque.
More cilantro for me, I guess.
But it is, the heavy metals is super common, correct? Like that pretty much everyone has
We're all exposed to toxic metals.
Yeah.
And kind of like what Allie and I were talking about in the beginning with the arterial plaque, as she keeps detoxifying, there will always be metals in the blood as it's being transferred from the tissue into the bloodstream on its way out. And so the fact that there is arterial plaque here and metals in the blood doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything bad, because it's going to be happening. The real news is going to be here as we see the tissue getting cleaner and cleaner, stronger and healthier. Okay? And just by looking at it, we can see that it has a great orange color.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, there's more metal. Okay, so the biggest thing, blood cells look great. So the biggest issue is the recycling of the acid waste. It's not getting out fast enough because of that one little point in your lower back on the left-hand side. That's how simple that is.
That's great. It's not But it's fixable. It's
fixable.
it's lovely. It's wonderful.
Reversible. Okay, now in this area, all of this is just showing one problem. But this is how many influences one problem can bring about. See, there's only 3 red blood cells, 4 or 5. Where are the rest of them? They've been dissolved by the same acid waste that's poisoning the white blood cells.
They look like worms.
And so we realize that, okay, by this picture, I know that your energy right this minute is down by at least 20 to 25% because of these are fatigue acids. And that's why I say this is kind of the foundation of the chronic fatigue syndrome. Because as a person recycles the fatigue acids like this, it makes them feel tired. And when they have sugar, caffeine, or willpower to drive themselves to do what they have to do, they feel a little bit more normal. And that's what causes the eventual exhausting of the adrenal glands.
Yeah.
So when a person goes into full adrenal exhaustion, that's full out chronic fatigue. And so most people that have chronic fatigue syndrome don't realize that it's a 2-part process. It's the whole foundation of what we've been talking about with the lower back, the strictured colon, recycled fatigue acids. But without realizing it, after so many years of this, they've gone into adrenal exhaustion. So they've got to work on the lower back, get the intestinal flow going, and pamper those poor exhausted adrenal glands and strengthen them.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll take good care of you guys.
Okay, because
It's very shiny.
all those bubbles of fluid is just showing that your body is cleaning house, doing great.
Good job.
Yep. And the cells are strong and healthy. They look great. Now, as we look at the quality of health that you're creating, which shows up in the red blood cells, and then we see the undermining with the recycled acid waste from the colon, we're realizing, okay, we solved the acid problem, get that lower back taken care of, get the intestinal tract going, keep building that blood. And obviously, when we look at all these patterns and they get up here, you get to the point to where disease can't even exist. That's the goal.
That is the goal.
Okay? So let's go ahead and look at the next one.
Ooh. Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Will it look like the Grand Canyon again? I don't know.
Or like car streaks. That's what it looks
Fishnets.
like. Yeah.
We're going for fishnets.
Fishnets.
Been trying to stay calm.
I know, she doesn't want to affect the blood.
Really work on my zen.
You already got amazing results. Like
Lots of
the
breathing.
improvement is there. So you should be just let that serotonin coach through your body, girlfriend.
Moment of truth.
Oh, I can already tell it looks way stronger. I'm just gonna say, I'm calling it. Look at the color.
Color is good.
It looks so good.
Immune
Look.
system looking good.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's fantastic
Allie.
after travel.
That
That's
looks
great.
so different from when we first saw it.
Yeah, it does.
That constitutional strength is looking excellent.
My
The-
constitutional strength is excellent. Did you hear that?
Oh my god.
And the immune system is at about 85%,
Wow.
That's amazing.
which is good. You got a lot of breaks here, but it's basically real strong.
Okay.
Now that blotchy looking thing right there, that's just the stress from the liver. As you do as you keep up with the gallbladder flushes, those will clear.
Mango juice and mints.
The lymph is still a little bit stagnated, not bad. That's all lymph right there. But that's not bad.
Okay.
So this first level is looking good. Now we'll look at, there's a little bit of free radical activity.
What does
Which-
that mean?
That takes a little bit more antioxidants and a little bit more work to get the free radicals under control. But as you get the toxic wastes out, you'll stop creating so many. And then as you increase your intake of any form of antioxidants, it will neutralize that white material in the second level.
Okay.
Then everything gets stronger and healthier. Okay, I'm not seeing any other patterns.
Aw, Allie.
Now this one is showing a little bit more darkness in the center, which is just a confirmation of that stricture. So everything that we're seeing has to do with that one little point in your lower back and your strictured colon.
Okay.
Other than that, everything else is looking great improvement, coming together nicely.
That's so cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wow.
You're welcome. Well, you're the one that did the work.
Yeah, she really did. I was there.
Yeah, and that was we did that in February, so it's only been like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah. No, that's incredible.
Well, you've done great.
Do
Congratulations.
I look less stressed?
No, there's no stress.
Allie.
Did you hear that? Last time you
She's
said
really
I had
been-
a torture victim stress.
Yeah. She was
Oh,
You
yeah.
remember?
Yeah,
You're
I
like, this
remember
calm
that.
little
There's-
lady ain't so
there's-
calm.
There is nothing.
She loves to quote that often.
Yeah. It was hilarious because I was like, that is Allie in a nutshell. And people
There's
just don't know.
nothing.
There's nothing.
There's nothing.
It's literally complete. It looks like a different person's blood. That's
different
literally
person.
insane.
Okay.
I'm at
Remember
peace.
those like streak
Where did
marks?
Allie go?
I know.
Who stole Allie?
Who am I?
I think also too, talking from an emotional standpoint, you've been really good recently dealing with confrontation, and like even recently, I won't bring up the experiences, but you've just been calling me being like, this happened and I handled it and I was so calm and I felt so good and grounded. And even though it was a crappy situation, my emotional reaction didn't match what it would have done back in the day. And so I think also from an emotional perspective, you've worked so hard.
Out of all the patterns, that one is huge. that
Yeah.
You turned that one
Yeah.
around.
I
'Cause-
mean, it's the hot spot, like that traumatic imprint of just feeling reactive to
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
but just by being aware of what it was doing to your body and then altering your response, look what you did.
Yeah, that was why I got so emotional last time, was seeing the effect it had on my body. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Incredible.
Thank you. That's so
Oh my God. Oh, wow.
Thanks so much.
Okay.
Is it your turn?
I think so.
So here's your life.
Yay. Hi, life. How are you? I hope you're really good. Worked really hard on you.
Okay,
I
now
love you. Trying to give it words of affirmation, like the plant. I'm like, I love you.
okay, like I said before, most people have what looks like the London fog moving through there, and yours has a very black background, which means that you're keeping your diet very clean. You're keeping your elimination going, and your Candida is almost non-existent. There's a little tiny piece there, but most of it is clear. Little tiny specks. Most people have big chunks of fungus throughout, so you're doing very well with your sugars. Looks like you're recycling a little bit. We'll see as we go along how much. A little tiny bit of stress in your liver. That's causing a little bit of the overlapping.
Well, last time you said there was a lot of stress, a lot of stress in my liver.
Okay, so this is a
Yeah.
great improvement.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, there's a piece of copper.
Woohoo.
There's a big bubble of fluid showing that
Woohoo.
you're detoxifying.
Wow, it's huge.
Yeah, it's just fluid. Okay, this,
Do I have boring blood?
for the most part, this is quite a boring
Yes.
sample, which is very complimentary.
Wow.
No weird patterns or anything. Cells look strong, healthy.
Is that pace normal, or like would you want it
Yeah,
moving
it's just
faster?
your blood has good energy in it.
Cool.
So it's just
You got
moving.
good energy.
I got good energy. Thanks, Rick. Worked really hard for it. Yay.
Okay, so let me check your back. Okay, so this would be your problem side, the right side.
So lower right side is my problem side. I remember last time you were talking, you literally pointed to this lower right part of my stomach.
Okay.
And it's, no one knows this, but I always feel like sometimes there's like a lump there, like, or like a blockage.
Uh-huh.
And you were like, this is your problem area. And I was like, oh, that's quite literally what even in yoga, when I put the blocks right here and I like release that and it feels really, really good, I'll still feel like something there, if that makes sense.
Now, it could be just that slight stricture in your colon still that is causing a little bit of stress for your liver. And so you might just get your therapist here to work on.
Cute.
You meet Theragun buddies.
Yeah. We're buddies in so many other departments, so might as well just add that in. Perfect.
So you get that colon working a little bit better, and it would take the stress off from your liver, and that might be enough to make everything happy.
Yay.
Yeah, you're comfortably moving metals out, which is great.
Cool.
Remember the 3 pathways to get rid of everything: intestinal tract number 1, skin number 2, and the gallbladder number 3.
Is that why, like with psoriasis and eczema, can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. With psoriasis and eczema, when the liver gets overwhelmed and the body is too acidic, the body will choose a weak area, usually because of a tight muscle in the neck. It will weaken one arm or the other, or both, and or a certain area of the body. But it would be considered a skin problem. But as you understand very clearly, it's not a skin problem. It's a liver and a pH problem. And so the person could start doing the gallbladder flushes, get the intestinal tract moving, and start juicing celery. And actually, a good combination is 50% carrot and 50% celery, and both need to be organic, of course, to have the minerals that they need. But by getting the intestinal tract moving and provide that alkalinity, they can clear that up.
Amazing. Incredible. Yeah.
But it's not a skin problem.
It's not a skin problem, you guys.
It's a chemistry problem.
It's a chemistry problem.
But as long as they believe it's a skin problem, they'll be addicted to creams that will just temporarily...
And steroids, right? That scares me a little bit.
Yeah. But again, speaking of steroids, if they get their adrenal glands working better and get the pH right, pH and energy are parallel. The more acidic we become, the lower our energy. So that's the reason why we want to alkalize. And the higher priority for alkalizing is getting the body to get rid of the acids. Rather than trying to neutralize it with the celery juice, evacuate more acid, then the celery juice can finish the project.
Wow.
Yeah.
Breath work.
Okay, so this is... I'm not seeing any other patterns. Everything is looking quite good. Very, very much improved from February.
Yay.
Therapy buddies get working on each other's backs and then get bands or whatever to tone.
Yeah. Cool.
And then keep that fiber moving through. Okay, I hope that's had enough time to dry. Let's go ahead and take a look at the dry one now.
It's so affirming being able to actually see it on the screen and see...
The befores and afters.
Yeah, the before and after. It's so satisfying. It's just, and it just proves too, like anyone listening to this, you don't need, this is an amazing thing to have, but like you will feel the difference too. Like me and Allie, we've, our entire teenage years up into our adult years, we've intuitively known that there was work we needed to do, and we just sought it and looked after it. And eventually it comes to you. And I feel like if you guys are listening to this podcast, it's because this is for you and it's coming to you, and you don't need to get your blood red in order to do the work, and you will feel the difference.
Yeah, that's probably the most important thing. 2 important things to think about. One is there are no mysteries in the body. And number 2, you don't need to find out if your colon is poisoning you. Yes, your colon is poisoning you. You don't have to find out if your liver is overwhelmed. Your liver is overwhelmed.
It's overwhelmed.
Just get to cleaning things out. A lot of people will feel like, oh my gosh, I got to do that blood work. No, nobody does.
Yeah.
Just do the work and you get the results.
What's going on there?
It's not dry yet.
Oh, okay.
Was there a pretty hefty reproductive pattern last time?
I don't know. I don't
remember.
You'd have remembered if it was, because it's looking like that's what's forming here. Are you having your period now?
No, I have it in 2.5, 3 weeks.
Because it's sure looking like a...
What?
reproductive
Like a
pattern
pregnancy?
forming. No.
Oh, God.
That's where I thought we were going. And I was
literally was like, this is going to be the most viral episode we've ever
everybody
had.
stopped breathing in that moment.
No surprises like that. No.
Was that a joke or what does that mean?
It's like,
Breathe.
what does that mean? Just say it, Mick.
I'm waiting for it to dry because I'm hoping that it looks more structured than we're seeing.
Yeah, that's weird.
So not pregnant.
Yeah.
Just to clarify to everyone.
Yeah, these in the second drop that is dried,
Yeah.
we're seeing a reproductive pattern. Now, there's a close correlation between what's going on in the liver and the reproductive area and the lower back.
Okay.
But when I discovered that, I was in Providence, Rhode Island, and I was going back every 6 weeks to do health screens on the same group of about 25 or 30 people. And I felt like, everybody is extremely deficient of minerals and enzymes. And so I outlined a program for them to work on that was heavily loaded with enzymes and minerals. Came back the next time, and every single person had a heavy reproductive pattern and liver stress. And I thought, okay, the only common denominator among all these people with all these patterns is me. What did I do? And I realized that with the heavy pattern of enzymes, it increased tissue vitality for every single person. And so their bodies shifted into a heavy detox mode, transferring huge volumes of waste material from the tissue level into the liver and gallbladder. And the liver and gallbladder couldn't handle it. And this took me probably a few more months to figure this one out. What's the correlation between the liver and the reproductive area?
Yeah.
What I realized is that when the liver gets overwhelmed, and this is what takes place with most women, when the liver gets overwhelmed and the liver can't keep the blood clean enough, then during the monthly period, the body, out of desperation, will redirect the waste material, because that's a pathway of elimination, into the reproductive area. And if the reproductive area can't flush that volume of waste that is put into that area, if it can't throw it out, then the body very brilliantly forms little trash cans called fibroids and cysts.
Oh.
So there's, between the nerve flow restriction from the lower back and the redirecting of this waste material that the liver can't handle to the reproductive area, now you understand why women have hysterectomies.
Wow.
Okay?
Okay.
The weakness caused by nerve flow restriction from the lower back.
What is this? Hysterectomies? What are those?
Hysterectomies, when women have their reproductive area cut out.
Oh.
Yeah. Something nobody really needs.
No good.
No, don't want that.
No good.
But the reason why it happens is because the area gets accumulated, because the liver can't keep the blood clean enough, and the body, out of desperation, is using the periods to clean the bloodstream. Okay? So the way to save a woman's reproductive area is get that nerve flow opened up from the lower back, the way you two are going to be working at it, and then get that gallbladder cleared out so the liver function can improve, open up the nerve flow from the upper back, okay, so that the liver and gallbladder get stronger.
Okay.
Again, education would be the solution.
Yeah.
If a person understood what I just shared with you, there'd be no reason for the reproductive problems.
Wow. Wow. All right, so let's talk about it. What's going on here? Wow, Allie just...
Now.
So proud of you. I don't know what's going on here for me.
Okay, what we're seeing from February to now is your body was coping with more than what we were aware of in February. So now things are getting exposed that there was more free radical activity going on than we were aware of before. And so that's what the white is here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, some more.
Do you think as I did it, like what you were saying with Jordan's blood, how you're like, I can't look any farther because it's like bunched together. Is this being exposed now because I've done the work and it's coming up in a way? It's like almost like when you do a facial, it like you purge and get breakouts after sometimes.
Yeah, kind of the same idea.
Cool.
Okay, but it's, again, no mysteries and everything is simple, straightforward. I'm just surprised that if the reproductive pattern didn't show up last time, why it's showing up now.
Yeah, that's the question that I have, because Allie, my brain that remembers everything, doesn't remember this. So it wasn't there. Yeah, but I actually have it recorded, so I'm going to listen back as well.
Okay, good. What your body will do is it's brilliantly designed to survive.
Yeah.
And so when there's a problem, the body will encapsulate it or hide it so that the more vital functions aren't interfered with.
Aww.
And so through the work that you've done, you've exposed what was kind of being isolated before.
Cool. So we're bringing everything to the surface. It's good.
And so now that it's to this point, it will help you to get more motivated to make sure that you get that lower back taken care of, to strengthen the lower pelvic floor. Keep doing the gallbladder flushes to take the workload away from so that your periods are only flushing the reproductive body, not helping to clean your bloodstream.
Yeah.
That's important.
TMI, but I have very heavy periods, like very, very
painful
heavy.
too.
And painful.
Okay.
I always just thought it was the IUD though. So, and it's a copper IUD, but I think we talked about that.
Okay. So now whatever was hidden before is exposed. So now the next few months will be reducing. It'll be working on getting liver function improved so that it can clean the blood better. And that will allow your brain to loosen up the muscles here. Your brain is tightening the muscles here, holding your lymph stagnated in the body.
Does this have to do with, I know you just talked about this last time, but you were connecting the lymph nodes to also cellulite as well. Is there like a connection to that?
Lymphatic stagnation is cellulite, yes. Okay. The lymph nodes, they're only to kill pathogens. They're not to filter and clean the waste from the lymph. That lymph is very acidic waste. It comes all the way up here under the collarbones where it's dumped into the bloodstream. Then it goes to the liver. The liver has to filter it. And if the liver can't handle that load, the brain tightens the muscles here to stagnate the lymph. Because the brain figures, hey, we'll hold that lymph throughout the body, and then it doesn't affect the blood. Now, getting back to eczema and psoriasis, the acidity of those fluids, the body is pushing them directly out through the largest organ of elimination, which is the skin, throwing it out immediately, because if that acid waste stayed with the blood and it brought the pH down very much at all, it could kill you.
Wow.
And so a person with those skin problems, which are not skin problems. Is actually
its body trying to protect it from that?
The body is saving your life.
Wow. It's so intelligent.
So, because it's geared up to survive. So what we need to do is understand what's really going on, and it's just desperately moving acid waste. Normally, the body will never push acid waste directly out through the skin.
Yeah.
It's only out of desperation. So what we've got to do is get those pathways of elimination open, get rid of, evacuate as much acid waste as we can, then use the vegetable juices to finish off.
Okay.
It would be so difficult with all these kinks in the hose. In fact, let me review that right quick. There's actually 5 what I call kinks in the sewage line.
Okay.
And we've got to become aware of them. We've talked about them, but I'll clarify them in order. The lower back is the first one. The associated stricture in the colon that you both experienced is the second one.
Yeah.
The gallbladder being loaded by the time we're 20 is the third. And the gallbladder forcing the backing up of the liver makes the fourth. Then your brain tightening the muscles, stagnating the lymph is the fifth.
Wow.
And so we got to open up all 5 of those kinks to get the flow of detoxification to clear the complete body.
Wow.
Okay?
Okay. Wow.
With that understanding, a person can thoroughly detoxify the body.
Yeah.
Okay?
Incredible. I'm almost kind of like happy because now we're talking about this. So it's all divine. My blood was like, here, this is what we need to talk about today.
Okay, we'll go back to the second one. Now, as we look at the white material here, there's a large amount of white material, but not as much as in the first one.
Yeah.
Okay, in the first one, the white material was much larger, meaning that your bigger problem is stagnation of lymphatics.
Yeah.
Now, a person with cancer or some degenerative condition, the white in the second layer would be greater than the first. That's how you tell whether you're in trouble or not. So,
good.
Your body is basically just dealing with accumulated waste material that your body was suppressing before, but now it's pulled the plug and it's releasing it to clear it because now it can trust that you're going to...
Because it's in a safe space. It has a safe space. This is a safe space, blood.
It knows that you're going to do what you need to do to get rid of it. Okay, most of that spaghetti look right there is just
what is that?
tissue that's stuck to your finger.
Oh,
It's not part of you.
Sexy.
Okay, and I'm not seeing any other patterns. Okay, so even though it looks a little bit worse in ways than before, because of the work that you've done, we know that you're better off because there was something being encapsulated and suppressed that could have become much, much worse if you didn't do the work that you did.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, it'll only get cleaner and better.
Yay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, change. I just wanted to see some change. And then from that, that's just more information.
Yeah, that was the main thing today is vital information and knowing that things were a little bit worse last time than we could see.
Yeah.
And now your body is exposing it all. And it's not that bad, but a little bit more work to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it though. We were going to do it anyway. So it's like, this is just more motivation. And Allie will just do it with me. Even if her blood is quite literally perfect, she'll do it with me.
For fun.
Just for fun. This is her type of fun.
Good, clean fun.
Yeah, good, clean fun. Well, that was incredible. And I think through that, there was so many cool pathways we created with these conversations. So we are just so honored that we could capture this on video and that we could actually have you. I mean, we've been talking about this episode it was one of the first episodes that we were so like, this is going so excited. And when we got a date and we got a time and Mick was kind enough to fly out here all the way from Texas. So it's really just been an amazing time with you. So thank you so much for coming on. And I can't wait to hear everyone's comments and hear what you guys have to say after hearing these episodes. And Allie, is there anything you'd like to say?
I think just it's so inspiring doing this because knowledge is light, and if people have the information, they can change. And so I'm just so grateful you're here and also bringing that light into the world.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Truly, you're like an alien that came down to help us just temporarily. Like, I'll help these humans. I'll come down here. That's truly how we see you. So yeah, I think that's all, folks.
That's all, folks.
That's all, folks.
Well, thank you for having me.